Today I figure I'd give you guys my ranking of the top 10 GameCube games. I've always loved the Purple Cube, and I absolutely think that it's Nintendo's second best system behind the N64. And I don't think they've topped it since, although they have come close with the Switch. This is a series that I grew up with and I'm very nostalgic for, so I figured without further ado I'd give you my top 10 list of the best GameCube games. Coming in at number 10 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Battle Nexus. I think this game is the best of the three Ninja Turtles games that were released around this time, and honestly it had the best action of the three. I also have the first one on Xbox, and surprisingly enough the third one on PS2, but the second is the best of the three, and I recommend getting the GameCube version. It's 4 players. You get to play as all 4 turtles. It takes place during the second season of the TV show, and it's highly entertaining. Very enjoyable, and the best of the Ninja Turtles trilogy. Coming in at number 9, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast. This is actually the third game in the Dark Forces line of games. First there was Star Wars Dark Forces, and then Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight, and then Jedi Knight 2. There's a third game, Jedi Knight Academy, but that was only released on the Xbox and PC. And this version is really awesome. This game is also available on Xbox as well as the Switch and PS4 now, but this is the version that I played the most. Really enjoyable. Probably my favorite Jedi game. If we're talking just pure lightsaber combat, this is probably my favorite. This or Jedi Academy, they're very close. Really enjoyable. Highly recommend it. Anyone who's a Star Wars fan, check this game out. You're going to have a good time. Next, we have the best Star Fox game on the console, and one of my favorite Star Fox games, Star Fox Assault. Star Fox Assault was released towards the later part of the GameCube's lifespan, and a lot of people don't even know about this game. Essentially, it was made as a more or less, hey, we're sorry about Star Fox Adventures, which was such a poor example of a Star Fox game. Now, I still like Star Fox Adventures, and it's a fun, rare game, but the on-foot missions and the very few moments of actual R-Wing combat kind of hold this game back. A fun adventure game, but really poor excuse for a Star Fox game. It just felt like it should have been a different game, and actually was originally. This is supposed to be a game called Dinosaur Planet. So this was the more or less proper Star Fox game people wanted when the system came out. Really fun, really underrated. There's on-foot missions, but they're completely action-packed with lots of shooting and explosions. You can go in a tank. You can go into the R-Wing. It's just a great game all around, and one that I highly recommend. If you're a fan of Star Fox, this is one of the better games in the series, and you're going to have a good time if you play this one. Up next is the only Hitman game on the GameCube, and that is Hitman 2 Silent Assassin. This game is phenomenal, and one that I really love. Sadly, Hitman Blood Money and Hitman Contracts didn't make it to the GameCube, which is a damn shame, because I love the controller on the GameCube, and it would have been great to play those games with that controller. But I do think that Hitman 2 is still really awesome, and this is my favorite version of the game, the GameCube version. So if you have yourself a GameCube, check this game out. It's really fun, and it's one of the better Hitman games released during that time span. Very entertaining. Lucy loves it. She's literally practically eating the blocks right now. So what does that tell you? Really entertaining. Up next, we have Luigi's Mansion. This is a game that was a launch title for the GameCube. A lot of people were confused why they didn't get a Mario game right off the bat, and instead you had a Haunted Mansion Luigi game. But honestly, it's really fun. The graphics are amazing. You go around as Luigi in this mansion with this vacuum cleaner, and you suck up ghosts. It's essentially a Ghostbusters game before the Ghostbusters game was released. I really love this game, and I think that it has some of the best gameplay for that type of game out there. I don't know if I like this more than the actual Ghostbusters game, but it is close. Really entertaining, and it's cool that Luigi finally got his own series after all those years. Really fun. Check it out. Up next, we have Super Smash Bros. Melee. One of the best fighting games on the system, and the best Smash Bros. Game in the entire series. I absolutely love Super Smash Bros. Melee. I do like the first Smash Bros. Game, but it doesn't hold a candle to the sequel. And I think that the action, the adventure, it's all here. A great cast of characters, really fun and fast-paced fighting, and most Smash Bros. Fans will tell you they never topped this game. The closest they ever got was probably the new one on the Switch. This game is entertaining, it's fun, and if you have friends or family over, you have to kick each other's ass with this game. Really awesome, playing as Nintendo mascots, beating the shit out of each other. What's not to love? Up next is my favorite Star Wars game on the system, and one of my favorite Star Wars games of all time, and that's Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2, Rogue Leader. Now, I do love the first Rogue Squadron game. I actually have it on the N64, but I didn't play it nearly as much as the sequel. This game starts off with an awesome recreation of the Death Star battle, and it only gets better from there. If you're a fan of the original trilogy like I am, this game perfectly captures so many great battles from that trilogy. This is when LucasArts was firing on all cylinders before EA pretty much took up the Star Wars license, and this game is great. If you love space combat or straight up dogfights in general, you have to play this game. One of the best out there, and highly recommended. Up next is a timely entry, and that's Resident Evil 4. The remake of this game has recently been released, and it's actually really fun, and I might talk about that game at some point. But it all started here with the original Resident Evil 4. The game was supposed to be a GameCube exclusive, as you can see here, but PlayStation got greedy and more or less swooped up the rights and ported this game to PS2, and then it got ported to Wii, and then Xbox One, and then PS4, and then 360, and PS3. This game has been ported more times than almost any other game that I can think of, but it all started here on the Nintendo GameCube, and in my opinion, this is still the best version of the game. I mean, if you want to play in HD, I can understand getting it for a more modern system, but it all started here. Great survival horror, great action, great atmosphere. There's nothing not to love about Resident Evil 4, and it's probably one of the best survival horror games ever. It's not my favorite Resident Evil game, but it's definitely in the top 3, and it's one that I really love. Coming in at number 2 is my second favorite Mario game of all time, and that is Super Mario Sunshine. I love Super Mario Sunshine. There's just no two ways about it. I love the fact that they added this water jetpack, which basically gives you a whole new level of movement and platforming. This is Mario at his absolute best as far as controls go. I love the water pack. I love the sunny setting on Isle Delfino. I love the plot. It's just silly. You have to clean up this island that basically has these paint smudges all over it that have been put there by Baby Bowser. Spoiler alert. Great game that's really fun all the way through. A lot of people actually have problems with this one, but from in my personal opinion, this is the best Mario game outside of Super Mario 64. The game is also available in 3D All-Stars on the Switch. A great game, one that I highly recommend. Played it, you're gonna love it. Number 1 is a game that I actually don't have the GameCube copy of right now, and that's Twilight Princess. I actually did have this game on GameCube, but somewhere along the line I let someone borrow it or something like that, and I lost it. It seems to be a running theme with me with these lists. I'm always missing like 1 or 2 games. Wii version is not bad, by the way, but there's really no motion controls here outside of shooting the bow and arrow. The sword swipes are basically just the equivalent of hitting a B button. It doesn't follow your motions or anything like that. And a lot of early Wii games were guilty of that. But if you got yourself a GameCube or the Wii U version, I highly recommend this game. I wish they would put it on Switch, but unfortunately it hasn't made the leap yet. But this is still an amazing game, one that I absolutely love. It's probably my second favorite Zelda behind Ocarina of Time, honestly. I think that the action is amazing in this game. The story is just beautiful. And it was the last realistic Zelda game in terms of graphics. And what I mean by that is a lot of Zelda games go for like a more cartoonish look, like such as Wind Waker, even Skyward Sword, and even Breath of the Wild to some extent. But this one was the most realistic Zelda ever got. Graphics aren't everything, but I think this is like one of the prettiest Zelda games we have. And I really wish that they would go back to this style, or maybe make a straight-up sequel to this game. Highly enjoyable, with a great story that features a whole nother world known as the Twilight Realm, where you play as Link, who can also transform into a wolf this time around. The game is incredible. The soundtrack is amazing. The visuals are great. And if you have yourself a GameCube or a Wii U, I recommend those versions. But the Wii version is not bad either. Highly recommended. I need to get myself another copy of the GameCube version. But even still, I love this game. Play this game. You'll have a great time. Well, that's my list. I figured since last time I gave you guys some honorable mentions, I'd do it again. So without further ado, let's get started on that. First up is Star Fox Adventures. A very fun Star Fox game, but unfortunately it's not really a traditional Star Fox game. Still really fun and one that I recommend. Really good time. Fun, rare game. Nothing not to love. There's also Blood Rain, a really cool vampire game that was released back in the day. There's a sequel to this as well, but the first one I think I enjoy a little bit more. You basically fight Nazis and you're a vampire. What's not to love? Just a great concept, and I wish they'd make a third one day. Die Hard Vendetta, a first-person shooter where you play as John McClane. This game is badass with great action and great shooting, and it's one of the few Die Hard games out there. I really wish they would make more. Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition promotional disc that includes 4 games. Really big mouthful, but that's literally what it's called. This is a great set that includes not only Ocarina of Time, but also Majora's Mask and Zelda and the sequel Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, and a demo for Wind Waker. There's also Ocarina of Time Master Quest, which is probably one I recommend a little more. But if you love those original 4 games, they're all included on one disc, which is just insane. Very fun, also kind of pricey. Terminator 3, The Redemption. Probably my favorite Terminator game ever. It's actually a third-person action shooter where you get to play as Arnold as the Terminator, and you go around riding in cars and motorcycles and other vehicles, as well as on foot missions. Very fun and very enjoyable. Up next is Soul Calibur 2. This game damn near made the list, but I figured I'd only put one fighter on there, so I went ahead and threw Melee on there. This one is the best version of Soul Calibur 2, though, because you actually get to play as Link, which is just amazing. If you love Soul Calibur, there's nothing not to love about this version, and playing as Link is just awesome, and it's just a cherry on top of an awesome sundae. Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3 Rebel Strike. The biggest problem with this game is there's on-foot missions, and they're really rough and really janky. They're not god-awful, mind you, but running around with a blaster with controls that are made for a ship is just weird, and it's really weird when you play as a Jedi in certain levels. You would think on-mission foot levels would make it kind of more interesting, but it doesn't quite work. This is basically like a precursor to Battlefront, because you can get out of your ship and fight as well on the ground, but it doesn't quite work as well as that game. Still enjoyable, but probably my third favorite of the Rogue Squadrons trilogy. Up next is The Simpsons Hit and Run, a game that I absolutely adore. This is the best Simpsons game ever released and was so close to making the list, but didn't quite make it. This probably would have been 11th or maybe 12th place. So fun. You get to free roam around Springfield as Homer, Bart, Marge, and even Lisa in this wacky, crazy adventure. If you love The Simpsons, especially old school Simpsons, you'll love this game. It's also available on the PS2 and Xbox, but I recommend the Gamecube version. Up next, we have Spyro Enter the Dragonfly and its sequel, Spyro A Hero's Tale. Both very fun Spyro games that I rather enjoy, although not quite to the level of the PlayStation 1 games. Still very entertaining, with great adventure, great levels. Probably the last great Spyro games, and I recommend both of them. And last but not least is Dragon Ball Z Budokai. This game was also released on the PS2, but the GameCube version is my favorite version of the game, because they added cel-shaded graphics, and it works really well for the Dragon Ball art style. This game is great, following the events of the show all the way up to Cell, and it's highly entertaining, and one that I really highly recommend. One of the best DBZ games out there. That's my list. I thank you all for watching. There are many great Nintendo games out there, many great consoles, but I think none can really match the magic of the GameCube. It's just such a unique system with so many great games on it. Hopefully one day we'll see a return of a lot of these franchises. Thank you for watching, and peace out.